All right, guys, it's March 1st, and working on this these habitat pockets. So what I've decided is I just ordered some more weed fabric and staples. So I am going to weed barrier that other one, and I will get a third one set up in the back of the property and weed mat that. This morning I am getting some cuttings done. These are silky willows. I've got a ton of them here cut and ready to go. Let me turn you around. So these are all the cuttings. They vary in size. I got this one here that's, the size of my thumb. And some smaller ones here. These will all work. I got more here than I need. I could, if I really wanted to, I could probably take 100 more just in this stuff. But I don't need that many. And that bush there needed to be trimmed out. I wish I'd waited a little bit because once I do that other one, I'm gonna need some more, but I won't need a bunch. I got 2 plants over there I can cut from, so it's not a huge deal. But basically, you just gotta, with these, you can see the bud right there. Let me see if I can tap that in. That bud right there, when they go in the ground, that bud has to face up. So you cut a little bit of a point on the bottom, just above some buds. I'm sorry, just below some buds. Shove that in the ground, and this thing here is about 9 inches. And you can put that in the ground that far, or you can put it right up to the, and just leave a collar sticking out. The deeper you can get these, the better, a lot of times. So with the ground down here, if I can get some spots, I'll start running into clay, but I just push these down as far as I can get them without hitting rock or a really hard clay pan. So I'm gonna go ahead and get these in the ground, and then I'll come back and pull some of the elderberry. I got some yellow twig, pull some red osier, and I'll get that one area taken care of. All right, so I'm back here at this back. One of these, this habitat pocket that I actually completed February 28th. Today's still, again, March 1st. Weed matting and stuff I bought for this other section right here. It's going to be here sometime at the end of the week. I'm hoping it'll get here early. Got a lot of rain this week. Of course, it's not going to be the end of it for the spring, but I want to go ahead and get this one started. We've got a couple nice days around Monday or Tuesday and Wednesday, I think. So whatever I don't get done today, I will be able to work on then. But I was just up in the blind here, and I have a couple spots where I can put some of those hybrid poplars into this mix. So I am going to do that. This section that I'm in now that is completed and ready for cuttings, I can pretty much stick one wherever I want. So I'm gonna put probably 2 back over here somewhere, maybe 1 or 2. I gotta look at this because I want to keep them off of this sawtooth, and I want to keep them off of this pecan tree. And these things have some crazy roots. So I think I'm gonna do one. I think I'm just gonna do one of those. And then I also have room in this other section that I was unsure about. I've got room for one there too. So I'm gonna do one in each, and then the rest of these will be the other cuttings. Let me turn you around here and show you what we're doing. All right, so this way's north. This way, back towards the blind area, is southerly. And with these trees and stuff through here, this spot will get some shade and then cast shade this direction. So I want to put the taller stuff on this side here, and then kind of taper it down. A lot of times you would put, and I could probably still get away with this, you put the taller stuff in the middle and then taper it outwards all around the circle, and I can still work with some of that. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with about 10 or between 10 and 15 of these silky willows, and then go from there. Let me find a spot. I'm going to do one back over here. So I will do one silky willow here. And so what I'm gonna do for now, until this fabric really lays down, I'm just gonna cut a small slit just to get this in the ground, and I'll let it take off and I'll come back. Ideally, you're gonna cut this about that long by that long to give it room to grow, because these will get some bases out that are pretty good size, and this plastic is strong enough that it will choke stuff out, and you don't want that happening. If you walk up on something and there's a problem with that, you will definitely see it. So that's something to watch out for. As the season goes, I'll come back and open a lot of these up. I'll probably do a small, just do that. My knife might not be super sharp, but just enough to get it going for now, and then I'll come back and open these up later. And the reason I'm doing that is I don't want this wind getting up under here and messing with stuff. So let me go grab one of these cuttings. With some of these big cuttings, so not everybody can push these in the ground. If you get a bigger one like this, and you have to, you can take a deadfall hammer and beat some of these into the ground. But stuff like this, you got to be careful with them sometimes. I mean, that's a pretty good size one, probably won't have to worry about. You get into smaller ones like this, and that's actually a perfect size. You can bend them and break them. So let's go stick this one in the ground. I like this one. All right, so again, I think you can see that bud right there. That's gonna go up, and I'm just gonna stick this in the ground as far as I can get it. Put this down for a second. Okay, so that's in the ground pretty good. It's down in the ground 6 inches or better. It's on a small angle, and for this, don't care. I'm trying to get as much soil contact as possible with the cutting. So anywhere that there's a bud, like right here, there's a bud, and there'll be buds all the way up this thing. So if you had a bud here, and that was the last bud up, this would all die down, and you don't want that. You want to cut it, get it close, but not too close to the next bud. Otherwise, that can create problems. It can die off. But that's gonna be it. So we'll get several of these in here, reassess, and go back and grab some more. I'll put a few elderberry in here, and they get really big, so I'll probably only do about 4 of those, 4 or 5. I'm gonna do one OP367. I'm gonna get some dappled willows. I really like those. And then I will probably, the red osier and yellow has not done the greatest on this property, but I'm still gonna try to get some. I got stock plants for that, so we'll get those in the ground and we'll give you a rundown when all that's completed. All right, guys, I got this section completed. Got everything I wanted in here. This row down here, I think that is that's a dappled willow, and then I've got a 1-2 mix of red osier, yellow twig dogwood, and just keeping that pattern all the way to the end. And then I've got, anywhere from dappled willow. Right here is my OP367 tree. And then I've got like dappleds and silky willows. This right here will be an elderberry, dappleds, silky, dappled. A couple elderberries over here on this edge. Elderberry right here, right here. That's an elderberry right there. And then I've got more dappled willows and stuff up here. So I'm gonna let what I see here soak in and see what, if anything else, I want to do. See what buds and comes out, what I got to replace. there will definitely be some of those, more likely to be the red osier and yellow twigs. Something I run into here that I don't like if I'm putting a cutting in the ground and it just comes to an abrupt stop, even if I feel like the depth is good, I don't want it sitting on a possible rock. So I will pull that up and put it back in the ground just right next to it, put it on a slight angle or whatever. I just don't want it sitting right on a rock. Don't know if that will actually 100% impact anything, but I would bet it's not ideal. So I would like to get some more red and yellow in here. I just don't know where I would put it, because a lot of this stuff gets pretty big. I will let this probably go for anything that does extremely well in year one next spring. I will pretty much take it down to the ground, because what we're going to be looking for is stem count. All this fencing that I pulled off of this is off of a fence line. I'm gonna put a short out about this, but it's only been off that front area 2 days, not even 2 days yet. I took it off Friday afternoon, and sometime last night a buck rubbed on 2 of the OP 367. So that's why you got to keep this stuff caged for a while. I was hoping that they wouldn't be rubbing this time of the year, and that these would get another whole growing season in them and take off, be plenty large. So this could be an interesting next fall, but we will just see what happens. One thing good about these OP 367s, hybrid poplars, you can cut them down every single year to the ground. Do it during the winter, and they will shoot up and they will put on tremendous growth again. So worst case scenario is it damages an already existing tree. You cut it down and it'll shoot up something crazy with new stems. So I think when I get to this bigger section here, if I've got them, I would really like to do a lot more red and yellow twig dogwood in there. I'd like to keep the bigger stuff at a minimum as much as possible, and it's really about, most of the stuff I've got is the larger stuff. I don't have a lot of red and yellow plants that have done well. I think some of my plastic has choked it out in some of those other areas, so that was a lesson learned. Some of these in here I have not cut to a completion. I want to let this fabric set, try to kill out some of this grass, and then I will re-stretch in spots and then open those cuts up to where they can grow, and the plastic will only stay on this for 2 or 3. I don't know how long I will leave these up. I'm just gonna wait and see the response. Dapples and stuff like that in 2 years are gonna do fine. Silkies probably in 2 years are gonna be fine. The elderberries are gonna be good, but once this is opened up, the deer are going to hammer this stuff. So I may do an experiment after year 2 and open up the small one here and see what happens. Leave the big one up for a year 3 and take it down, because I don't want this. The whole point of this is for the deer to use, so I don't want to leave this stuff up forever. Some of the stuff I did plant close to the fence, so as it does grow, the deer can already, like this will be close to it, that'll be close. Some of that stuff, some of those will get outside the fence, so that they will have access to nibble on some of the stuff as they wish, but they can't get in here because this will never make it. So I'm gonna do a 2-year and a 3-year test and see where we stand. Good thing is, like I said, this is all able to be done again. It's just a lot of work. So well, anyways guys, I'm going to go ahead and put the fence up on this. I'm gonna let a lot of this, I'm gonna check this over again and see if I want to do anything else. If I do anything else, it's going to be towards the edge. I don't think so though. I think this is just, it is what it is, and we'll just see what happens. But once I get this big one done here, I'll go ahead and release this video. So I'm gonna go get some soil tests done, and we'll see you before too long. All right guys, March 6th. Got my staples the other day, weed mat yesterday. I'm out here doing this this bigger habitat pocket, and you can see right there, I did it in the other one too, I am intentionally leaving these strips of grass. This is a really pretty good size area for something like this, so I wanted to leave grass in strips like that to hold on to some soil. This has got a little bit of a slope that you can't tell in the picture probably. And once this weed man's down, it's just soil. I don't want any big deluge to start carrying this off. Don't know if it would or not, but I don't want to chance it. So I'm keeping these live strips in here, and I'll come through here probably once a month or so during the growing season and keep that trimmed down. I don't want it to get overgrown and then overtake or give too much competition to the cuttings. I've got 4-foot fabric for this. The other one had 3-foot. With this 4-foot, I will be able to stagger and get more cuttings in here. I may not have enough cuttings to do what I want to do, so I gotta get all the cuttings I can, lay this out, and go from there. But I'm gonna finish getting this fabric down, stapled, and then probably do some cuttings this afternoon and get those installed before we get some of this rain this week. So we'll check back in here shortly. All right, guys, so I'm wrapping this project up. This is that bigger area of cuttings. I just went ahead and stuck all that I could for the species I have. I may come back and add a few more that I don't have handy while I'm down here, but I can go back up to the house and snip a few, and I will get those added. I'll probably go ahead and just look at this for a little bit and see. I can see 2 or 3 spots I'd like to add more. At this point, this area has 72 cuttings. I feel pretty good about the ground, how they went in. I only ended up snapping off one when I was trying to put it into the ground. I chucked it and then stuck a new one in. So all in all, I feel pretty good about the survival possibilities here. Surely some aren't going to make it for one reason or another, and I can just replace those as that happens. I probably went a little thicker here than I had initially intended, but that's okay because 3 out of the 4 species that I have in here are stuff the deer will nibble on. So I'll give this 2 or 3 years in this enclosure. I'll open it up and then go from there. I may even just open up a door and see how they do for a year, and then see what goes on from there, and either completely take it off and make another one somewhere, or close it back up, let it regen, and then take it off. But these will get at least 2 years enclosed. Could be 3, just judging by some of these. One thing I'll need to do this fall is I will come in here and open these holes up some more. I cut them a little smaller than I would normally because of wind and the amount of duff or grass that's still underneath these. The grass will need to be killed off over time, and it'll help. But I'll go through some of these. Anything that's leaning against plastic pretty hard, I'm gonna go ahead and snip it and make sure it's got room, because this plastic is pretty strong. It will choke them. I would definitely recommend opening these holes up as you go and removing the fabric somewhere after year 2 or 3, just to get rid of it, because it's quite an issue. It definitely chokes out the red osier dogwoods and the yellow twigs. Those are a lot more susceptible to the strangulation. So, but this will complete this this series of these habitat pockets, and any videos after this will be outside, and I'll definitely be doing updates throughout the year. We've got a lot of rain and warm temperatures coming, so I'm hoping these will go ahead and take root before we get any more frosts or freezes, should that occur. And I think we're looking good. I'm pretty excited. I'm very happy with this. I did not get a tree in this spot. I didn't feel good with the location, so I just opted not to put an OP367 in here. I've got one little small pocket out back that I'm not going to add to this video or even video. I'm just going to stick it in the ground, use it for my own observation, because I'm not doing any weed matting with it, and it's in a really poor spot. So it's poor as in the ground. It's very shallow and may not have any success there. So anyways, that'll conclude this, and we'll see you on the next one. Thanks for checking in, guys. This was a long one.